Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is able to hear me and everyone is able to see my screen. If possible, can someone please confirm on the chat window or raise your hand if you are able to hear me clearly and able to hear my voice clearly. Thank you. Thank you, Deepak. Okay, thanks everyone. So far, yesterday what we discussed is nothing but we were discussing about a Hello World program for Spring Boot. Hello World program for Spring Boot. Why I am teaching this? Because the first interview question in Spring Boot is, can you explain the life cycle of a Spring Boot project? Whenever you run Spring Boot project, what exactly happens in the background? That is what the question is going to come in the interview. Okay. So for that, I'm explaining this totally in Spring Boot, where we can create a Hello World project in 4 different ways. Why I need to explain all these number of ways? Any way I can choose based on my wish. But the first way is normal Spring approach, where how can I create a Spring Boot project? In the similar way, I can create a Spring Boot project also. But we need to write some configuration, some of the things we need to take care. And I want to explain those manual steps, whatever we used to have. Then immediately we need to see the second and third and fourth approaches. Whatever we wrote in first approach, we are going to see in second and third how difference is with 1 and 2 3 4. That is what the showcase I want to do. That the prerequisites to create a Hello World project, the prerequisite is nothing but we need to download the latest Eclipse, we need to have Java 8, we need to have Maven. And I explain how to install Maven and all the folder structure. After installing Maven, we went to pom.xml. That is a main entry where we wrote the code to download all the Spring Boot jars. Why I need to download Spring Boot jars? Because I want Hello World project in Spring Boot. For that, we wrote a code of loading Spring Boot starter parent, because Spring Boot is having lot of options or lot of features, which is parent is the one major feature, and where which feature you want, that dependency we need to write. Here I am writing Spring Boot starter web. Starter web is the default dependency which will create a web application. Default dependency which will create a web application, where we wrote a parent tag as well as dependencies tag. Once I wrote in pom.xml, once I saved this pom.xml, we were able to see Maven dependencies, and we were able to see all the jars in the Maven dependencies. In the class path also those jars are added. We no need to download from anywhere throughout the internet or anywhere. We cannot download here. Everything will be Maven is going to take care of that. Okay. So this is what so far I explained yesterday. Today, I'm going to take the next steps of Java code, how to create a Hello World project in Spring Boot. That is what my next topic, which I want to focus on that. So prior to that, uh, guys, one second. Anyone has any questions? You can raise a hand. I can take up the questions. One second, guys. I want to unshare one time because I need to take the latest YouTube link. I want to post the latest YouTube link actually. Give me one second. But meanwhile, if anyone has any questions for 2 to 3 minutes, you can raise a hand. I'm going to take the questions from anyone. Yeah, anyone who is the first class for today, I'm going to share a Hangouts group link as well as YouTube links also I'm going to share. You can go through that and you can get the things here. Okay. So this is what my YouTube links. So far 4 classes are over. Today is the last class for the demo. As some of the participants are requested everyone to have one more demo, I have taken today also I'm taking demo. Okay, these are my complete YouTube links, and I've created a Hangouts group. This is a Hangouts group I'm going to share. please install Hangouts app on your laptop or anywhere. And after installing, click on these links. You will be added to the group where these links are also available, or where you can have. I stopped the screen just now. I shown someone. Okay, just now I told intentionally I stopped the screen. Now I am sharing the screen. Okay, right. So anyone has any questions as of now? Okay, Amol.
Hi, sir. So can you share the screen where you mentioned that starter web and
Yeah,
parent?
I'm going
Uh,
to. Can you go on mute? A larger disturbance is coming. Yes, this is a parent tag. This is a dependency tag. Group ID, artifact ID, version number, and this is a dependency tag, Spring Boot starter web. Okay. Yeah, I hope you are clear, Amol.
okay. So my question was, so part of the transitivity dependency will be downloaded by parent and part of
Correct.
will, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
cool.
yes, by default. Yes. Okay. Cool. Praveen, you have any questions? I unmuted you, Praveen. Praveen, you have any questions? Okay, fine. I cleared your hand. Okay, right. That's fine. Cool. Now today I'm going to talk about the next part of our Hello World project. Yes, I downloaded all the jars. I unmuted you, Praveen. You are not able to see actually. I unmuted you here. You have any question? Can you raise a hand? I can unmute you again. I unmuted you actually. You are all to speak. I was able to see that you are speaking. If you have any questions, you can raise a hand once again. Not on the chat window. Okay, fine. So there is a Praveen Kumar. You are having a question. You guys, whoever is having question. Okay, fine. Whoever is having question, raise a hand. Yeah, Praveen Kumar.
Yeah, hi Vijay.
Hello, sir.
Vijay, would you like to continue with the latest version of the Spring Boot or?
Yes, yes. Latest version only. This is only for demo version because I these jars I don't want to download newly again. Already these jars are available. That's why I copied this version. But we are going with the latest version only. Okay.
Okay, if I continue with the STS, it's no problem, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Now I want to focus on Bootstrap class. I mean Bootstrap program. So what is a Bootstrap class? That is what I am about to explain. Need to create a class, a particular package, and we need to write at the rate of Spring Boot application. Okay. So what I am going to do is nothing but here in the same project in SRC main Java, I am creating a new Java class. New Java class, which is equal to com dot hello world dot spring boot. Okay. Hello world application. And I want to generate public static void main. Hello world application. I want to create a main class. Okay. Which is, it is created the package. The first annotation I'm going to write is nothing but at the rate of Spring Boot application. At the rate of Spring Boot application, which I am going to write. What is this at the rate of Spring Boot application? What it is doing? Let me explain one by one. Okay. So at the rate of Spring Boot application, this is called as Bootstrap class. Sir, what is Bootstrap actually? What is a Bootstrap? What is the real meaning of Bootstrap? Means normal word, booting, starting. System is booting, we'll say that, right guys? System is starting. Boot space, something like starting. So starting point where we can say that Bootstrap class is a starting point. So any Java class which is having one annotation like at the rate of Bootstrap, at the rate of Spring Boot application, that is called as Bootstrap class. Okay, in every Java project or in every Spring Boot project, we should have only one annotation called as at the rate of Spring Boot application. We should have only one starting point. That starting point is nothing but the Java class which is having at the rate of Spring Boot application. That is called as Bootstrap class. Whenever I run my Spring Boot project, by default, it will choose in which file the developer wrote at the rate of Spring Boot application. It is going to check there, and that is the starting point of my Spring Boot project. Whenever we run Spring Boot project, first Spring Boot WebJar, it is going to look where the developer wrote Bootstrap class. What is a Bootstrap class? A Java program which is having at the rate of Spring Boot application. A Java program which is having at the rate of Spring Boot application is called as a Bootstrap class, which is called as a starting point. Sir, what is it is going to do that? What exactly Spring Boot application is going to do that is nothing but it is going to do lot of things. First point is, as I mentioned in my demo 1, EJB RMI versus Spring. What I mentioned here, Spring is introduced IOC container. Am I right? Inversion of control container, which is nothing but rather than developer is creating a object, framework is going to create that, right? That is what I told, right? So at the rate of Spring Boot application is going to create IOC container. It's going to create IOC container. First step is it is doing lot of tasks. At the rate of Spring Boot application is going to do lot of tasks. Okay. After that, second point is the people who worked on Spring, they will understand. Otherwise, I can explain in my real classes. What is the next point is, sir, I created IOC container. That is some separate memory area I created. What I need to do with the IOC container? All the Java programs which I am writing under this project, all the Java programs, all the Java classes like employee class, service class, controller class, lot of code will write, right? All these classes should be pushed to IOC container, right? Yes or no? If I push to IOC container, then only they can give you an object, right? So for example, I'm creating a product service. I'm going to create product service in the same project, or I'm going to create employee service, or I'm going to create some kind of service. Maybe I'm writing 1,000 files or 2,000 files. All these files should be pushed to IOC container. Why it should be pushed to IOC container? Because whenever I want employee service or a product service, IOC should give me that instead of, because I'm not going to write. What I'm not going to write here? Regular way is Product service is equal to prod service is equal to new product service. This is the old way of writing the code, right? This is old way of writing. But as part of Spring Boot, what I'm going to do that? What I'm going to do that? It is nothing but we are going to do IOC dot get product service. I'm going to write IOC dot get product service. This is new way of writing in Spring. New way of writing in Spring, so that this object will be managed by the framework. That's what I told in my demo class. Creation, management, state, destruction, all these will be done by the framework only. That is the second responsibility of at the rate of Spring Boot application. Let me repeat here. I just created a bootstrap class. What is a bootstrap class? A Java class which is having at the rate of Spring Boot application keyword, that is called as a bootstrap class. Every Spring Boot project should have bootstrap class. If I don't have a bootstrap class, Spring Boot will not work. I have a car, but if I don't have an engine, will my call will work? It will not work, right? Definitely it should have a starting point. Engine should be starting point, right? So like at the rate of Spring Boot application is an engine for a car, like how an engine is important for a car. Here also at the rate of Spring Boot application is an engine for Spring Boot project. What is the responsibility? It is going to create an IOC container, and it is going to push all the classes to IOC container. It is going to push all the classes to IOC container. Sir, in Spring, we used to write manually, right, sir? How we'll write in Spring? In Spring, whoever is having an idea, bean ID is equal to prod service, class is equal to com dot spring dot something like Flipkart dot product service. This is what I'm going to write in my spring.xml, right? These things you no need to write. Framework will automatically take care. You no need to tell, please keep this class with this name in IOC container. You no need to do that. This section you no need to write in Spring Boot, guys. Framework will write on behalf of you. Why? I told, right, Spring versus Spring Boot. No configuration, no installation, no build, no deployment. Everything will be taken care by the framework. That's why second point is all the Java classes which are pushed to IOC container for managing these objects efficiently by the IOC container. Is that clear? Everyone is clear? So guys, if you are not able to follow any particular point here, kindly raise a hand. I will definitely make sure that you will understand here. Okay, so please make sure that if it's the right question, wrong question, silly question, difficult question, anything, but the question should be whatever I'm teaching, it should be in line to that. So don't ask, I mean, you can ask other questions, but at the last, not now. Okay, as of now, anyone has any questions here, guys? I've created bootstrap class. What is a bootstrap class? A Java program which is having at the rate of Spring Boot application, that is called as a bootstrap class, which is a starting point. And what is that is going to do that? It is going to create an IOC container. It is going to push all the Java classes which are there in my project, and all these will be pushed to IOC container, so that whenever I need any particular class, framework is going to create an object for me and it is going to give it to me. That is the responsibility of the particular framework. Yes, Amol.
Yes, sir. So my question was, you said like it is going to push all the classes to IOC container.
Mhm.
So you mean that normal class which is not annotated, so those classes will going to be also moved or not?
Yeah, in every class, I mean, should have at least Spring annotation.
Spring annotation. Okay,
Should
good.
have at least Spring annotation, but I'm going to explain that it's not done yet. Okay, it's advanced question as of now. Okay. Yeah, to answer your question, yes, at least should have a Spring annotation so that because normal Java bean is different, Spring bean is different, right? So all Spring beans will be pushed to IOC content.
Cool, cool. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. Once you're done, please lower your hand. Manoj,
Hello, sir. I have a question. Sir, how it will identify to which class need to move to the IOC container?
by default, that is what my next step. I'm going to talk the third step here. Okay. I'm
Okay.
about to say that actually you asked the question. I'm about to say that, right?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Rohit, yes, it's a stereotype annotations. So guys, yeah, I know you some of the questions you may have here, but I'm going to explain all stereotype annotations which are going to be there. Okay, right. Now, third step is by default, by default, all the classes, default principle is all the classes under bootstrap package and sub package. By default, all the classes under bootstrap package as well as bootstrap sub packages. By default, all these will be scanned and pushed to IOC container. So default, not every class will go to IOC container. Now, what is my package of bootstrap class? Com dot spring boot dot com dot hello world dot spring boot. Yes, sir. So all the classes, all the Java classes created under com dot hello world dot spring boot as well as sub packages also. What is sub package? Dot star, anything is a sub package, right? Anything is a sub package, right? So what is the real time structure here? Maybe my real time structure is com dot flipkart dot or amazon dot order. This is my main package. And what is the sub packages? Com dot amazon dot order dot product. Com dot amazon dot order dot customer. Com dot amazon dot payment, inventory, discount, shipping, review, like that. This is my main package. All these are my sub packages. Whatever I have created the classes inside this bootstrap package as well as childs of bootstrap package, sub packages of bootstrap class, all will be identified. All the classes, it will be scanned. How it will be scanned? Through reflection. Through reflection. There is advanced Java concept, reflection. It is going to scan the package, and through reflection methodology, it will load all the Java classes. All these Java classes will be pushed to IOC container. That is the third risk. It will identify. By default, it will identify, hey, I need to scan all the Java files which are under com.hello-world.springboot, which are under com.hello-world.springboot.star. So it will scan these two packages and it will identify all the classes. All the classes will be pushed to IOC container. That is the third responsibility of my at the rate of Spring Boot application. This is the third point. Someone asked, right, how it is identified? Yes, this is the principle of identifying the Java classes which are under the package of Bootstrap class or bootstrap class sub package, any of the package, any of the classes there, it will be identified and that class will be pushed to IOC container. That is the third point here. I can say that. Okay. Is that clear, guys? Yes. Now, the next, I mean, lot of things are there. I am stopping as of now today to these 3 points only. There are 10 to 12 points are there as part of Spring Boot application. It will take minimum 5 to 6 days only to cover this topic. If someone will ask you what going to happen when you run Spring Boot project, all these things point you should explain. Okay, right. Now, as of now, when I run this project, IOC is created, all the Java classes are identified, and it is ready to push to IOC container. Okay, then I need to write Spring application dot run of hello world dot class and some arguments. This is the code I'm going to run. What I'm saying is, what is this line of code is doing? I'm going to explain. The above line. Okay. So generally in our Spring, we will write all this bean ID and all those things. And whenever we run my Spring application, we are going to write application context. Did you remember? Application context or web application context. These objects need to be created. How will create? Application context is equal to new XML application context of where I am defining my spring.xml. From there spring.xml, it will load the application context. So this is a manual step we need to write in Spring, but in Spring Boot you no need to write. I am telling what are the minimum steps are there to run a Spring project. That is loading of application context. Loading of application context. What is the loading of application context? This is the loading of application context as well as dispatcher servlet. I told you right in the demo class, dispatcher servlet. For what dispatcher servlet? Whenever you ask payment, it will load payment service. Whenever you ask customer service, so that whatever the resource you are looking, dispatcher servlet is going to redirect to that particular path. So this particular line is going to do that particular task. I no need to, I mean, ideally this is I'm writing here as in a manual approach. In automated approach, no need to write all these things. Framework only will write all these things. Okay. So what I am doing is Spring application, please run. That means you load application context, you load dispatcher servlet, and make your application ready. Make your application ready. Whatever the configurations are there, like what are the configurations are there for web application? The first configuration is nothing but front controller, dispatcher servlet, database connection, transaction connection, IOC container, loading Spring Beans, pushing the beans to container, and making application context on this. All these are the steps which are carried as part of this particular statement. Spring application dot run, hello world application dot class, comma arguments. This is my bootstrap class, which I explain here. What are the points inside that? What it is going to have, everything I have explained, but there are a lot of things are there here. but I've covered only minimal things. But there are a lot of things I'm going to explain in my upcoming classes. At least everyone got high level idea what exactly at the rate of Spring Boot application is doing, what exactly my Spring application dot run is doing. That is what I have explained here. Anyone has any questions here as of now? Perfect. Yes, Ram.
Yeah, Vijay. Actually, here the IOC and context are two different things or same?
IOC is a memory place.
Hmm.
Context is to get that object. Okay. For
Okay.
example, I can say that IOC is my home. Okay.
Okay.
And all the items in my home is a context. If I want to use my refrigerator, I want IOC. Something like every item in my room is a IOC context, and IOC is a room, separate memory area, like that you can think of. Okay.
Okay. If you don't run the, can you scroll down?
Okay.
Yeah, here if you don't run the Spring application dot run, then the context will not be created from
Context
the
will not be
IOC,
created.
created
Correct.
from the IOC, right?
Correct. Exactly.
Only IOC will be created.
Correct. Only IOC will be created, but I cannot be accessed.
Okay.
So which is mandatory this particular line. Okay. Good question. Yes. Now the next point is, yes, I created bootstrap class. That's fine. Next point is I'm going to create one more class. What is one more class here? My real business logic. What is my business logic? What I'm doing here? I want to print hello world, right? What is my target here? I want to create a hello world project. So where I am writing hello world controller, something like that. Okay. Guys, here I am writing something. I'll explain slowly. At the rate of rest controller, I'm going to explain not now. Okay. At the rate of rest controller, public string get hello world return welcome to Spring Boot hello world through Spring approach. And at the rate of request mapping value is equal to slash. I'm going to explain what is this slowly. Something you forget about these two entries. Just I write a normal Java class. I wrote a normal method, and I'm going to write get hello world welcome to Spring Boot hello world through Spring approach, because we use Spring approach only, right? That's it. Now I need to run. That's it. I'm done. Okay. How to run here? I have a bootstrap class, which is a starting point, right? On the bootstrap class, right clicking, run as Java application. As of now, I'm explaining run as Java application. This is the basics I'm teaching. Okay. I'm clicked on run as Java application. Then it's going to, yes, my web application is up. What is going to do that? Starting Spring Boot hello world application with this process ID, and Tomcat is initialized. Did I install Tomcat? No. Did I initialize Tomcat? No. Starting my Tomcat, initializing application context. You just now explained, right? Web application context. Initializing embedded web application context means embedded means inside that only. Yeah, it's a program in I mean it's a created within the program. I didn't wrote this application context. Embedded means automatically framework is created that. and root web application context initialization is completed. It created a context, and Tomcat is started on the port 8080 and started hello world program, hello world application. This is my high level logs where I can understand. Now how to see that, because it's a web application, right guys? How to see that? So where I need to print localhost colon 8080. So localhost colon 8080. Welcome to Spring Boot Hello World through Spring Approach. I got the output. Welcome to Spring Boot Hello World through Spring Approach. This is a web application. I'm accessing my Tomcat through 8080 and I got this output. I have not installed Tomcat. I didn't wrote any configuration. I didn't wrote any dispatcher servlet. I didn't wrote any application context. I didn't wrote any configuration. I didn't prepare any jar, any var. I didn't build my application. I didn't deploy my application. I didn't start my application. I didn't start my service, sorry, Tomcat service. Everything will be taken care by the framework only. Now you see here, it loads a dispatcher servlet also. Now you see in the console, whenever I access here, you saw that initializing servlet, dispatcher servlet. It is initialized, right? Completed initialization in 15 milliseconds. What dispatcher servlet is doing here? Because I am asking 8080, what it is really doing is nothing but ideally. Okay. So my code is in where? Hello world controller. Right? This is the whatever I wrote here, this output came. Am I right? If at all, if I want to get this output, what I need to write what I need to write ideally, if it is Spring is not their normal Java code, what I need to write here generally, hello world controller obj is equal to new hello world controller. Am I right? Obj dot get hello world. This is what we need to write normal code, right? Yes or no? Where I am initializing an object for this. With that object, I can access the class. But here it's not at all required here. This is not required here because I am not going to take care of that. Okay. Already this hello world controller, is pushed to IOC container, and IOC container is having an idea. And how it is identifying whenever I clicked 8080, how it is picking that file, I'm going to explain that because I need to explain these two annotations. There are a lot of rules where what is request mapping, what is list controller. I need to explain this. This is going to take extra 1 hour class. What is REST controller, what is request mapping, what are the rules, I'm going to explain that. Okay. So by default, whenever I run this, what are the things are happening here? It is creating IOC container. My hello world control is identified and it is pushed to IOC container, and it created application context. It created dispatcher servlet and everything is loaded. Whenever he did 8080, because this is the entry which is called this particular method and the output is printed on the screen. This is the hello world output of a Spring approach. Hello world output of a Spring approach. Understand? For example, I'm writing one more method, guys. Okay, I'm writing one more method. Like I'm going to write slash other get other hello world. Something I'm going to write. Welcome to other method, which is equal to get something. I'm going to write get other hello world, where I wrote slash other. Okay. Now I'm going to run this code. I'm going to run this code. How to run this code? Run as Java application. Karthik, I'm going to take your questions. Give me 1 minute. Let me explain this. I'm going to take your question. So my application is up 8080, which is running. And if I take one more tab, slash other, is it other or others? Maybe it is other. You got that right? Welcome to other method. Get other hello world. So framework knows you no need to I'm sorry, you no need to instantiate the class, you no need to call a specific method. Dispatcher servlet only identifies which method, which class it needs to be instantiated, which method it should be invoked. There are some rules are there which I need to explain about what is REST controller and what is request mapping. Okay, so someone, you just raise a hand. Can you please raise a hand? I'm not able to find now. Karthik, you have a question? Yes, Praveen, go ahead.
Yeah, Vijay. You said that all the beans are pushed to the IOC container, right?
Mhm.
So how the Spring would know which class has to be pushed to the?
I told right, sir, just now I need to explain request mapping and REST controller. These two things, there are a lot of principles are there which I need to explain that. I have not done that. Okay. Yes, Lakshmi, there is a question. Sir, you said it was Spring application. Then why we added at the rate of Spring Boot application? No, ma'am. At the rate of Spring Boot application is the keyword which is only doing all these activities. Spring application dot run is going to take care of application context, dispatcher servlet. This is what this line is going to do that. Whereas at the rate of Spring Boot application is going to do that these three tasks: IOC container, identifying all the classes, and pushing to IOC container. So this is what at the rate of Spring Boot application is doing, and that is what Spring application is doing. I hope, Lakshmi, you are clear. Maybe. Okay. Yes. Any other questions? Anyone? Ram.
Yeah, can we write the two Spring Boot application annotation classes?
No, we cannot write. That's what I told already. Every
Okay.
Spring Boot application should have only one bootstrap class, because only one starting point, right?
Mm.
Every Spring Boot application, there is no use, right? If I have two classes, is there any use? At least I should know where is my starting point. I should use that starting point only. So there is no necessary of there is no real requirement. It's only interview question. Can I have two bootstrap classes? Yes, it should not have. By default, we have only one bootstrap class, and every Spring Boot application is having that particular bootstrap class.
Yeah, any specific reason to pass the args to run method?
Yes, if at all, if you want to, what is the run method is args is command line arguments, right? By default, if at all, if you want to pass any command line arguments before running Spring Boot project, like if my configuration file is outside of the path, I can pass that. If I want to pass any other parameters outside of the Spring Boot application, I can use command line arguments. But it's advanced question as of now. But this is normally uh, public static void main is this is coming, right? Just we need to pass that. If at all, if you have, as of now, will not have. That's why we will not explain. We don't need to have that. Okay, right. Sachin.
Yes, sir. So actually, I have one question. Like in console log, we can see that Apache Tomcat is starting.
Correct.
So let's suppose if in a project that apart from the Apache Tomcat, we have the requirement to install the WebLogic or something. So
Good.
do we have the
Good question.
capability?
No. Good question. Very, very good question. This is the interview question, guys. Sir, by default, if I have Tomcat, I am as able to see in the console. But if at all, if I have JBoss or Wildfly or WebLogic or WebSphere, how we'll do that? The answer is you need to exclude the Tomcat first of all. So can Sachin, can you go on mute actually? Yeah, I'm keeping you on mute actually. Yeah. So you need to exclude this Tomcat because I don't want Tomcat, right? We need to write a Maven configuration to exclude the Tomcat jar. Then we need to use a complete var file. Without Tomcat, I need to create a var file. And whatever the process I have in WebLogic to deploy the var file or AR file or JBoss, whatever the regular process is, I need to follow that. So embedded WebLogic is not there. Embedded JBoss is not there. Embedded WebSphere, embedded Wildfly, embedded Glassfish is not there. You need to prepare a var or a EAR or a jar, and you need to continue with the old process only. Spring Boot is not supported. Spring Boot is supported with only Tomcat, Undertow, Jetty. These are the three servers it has. But in Java, we'll use only Tomcat. Okay. Right. Sanat.
Yes, sir. Sir, can we go to that starting sir at the rate Spring Boot application?
Okay.
So here you said it is going to create this IOC container. That means, I mean, whenever you say at the rate Spring Boot application, it is going to create this container. Okay, that's I'm thinking that. And when you come down, you said that Spring application dot run. It is going to create the application context.
Correct.
Okay, so sir, that means for that container we are going to create one object, right? Is that what in?
Correct. For that container, I need a placeholder to get the objects or to get the classes inside the container. Yes.
Yes.
That is a context.
Yes, sir. Sir, and according to my knowledge, see, there are two types of, like, one is context and there is some there is also some other way, sir.
Getter, setter, and constructor.
This is okay. There is bean also, no, sir. Bean.
We'll see that. All those things I have not explained, right? All those things we are going to see that. Okay. Yes. As of now, I have not explained any bean. I have not explained any controller, service. All those things are there. Component, configuration. I'm going to explain future, not now. Okay. Yes. Majid Saad. Majid Saad.
Yeah. Regarding you said in the starting point, that's mean the this is Spring application. This is an entry point of Spring application. So you said scanning all the file under the package. For example, if we have another package don't relate it to the same application, how can we scan it?
Yeah, we need to write one more manual component scan. I have one more option where I need to write specific annotation component scan. I'm going to explain that. That is also is there in tomorrow's class. I need to write separate code. Hey, please load this package also. I need to write component scan annotation with the path where I want to load. I'm going to explain that. Okay. Yes.
So each Spring application has only one entry point.
Correct.
Should has, huh?
Should has, yes. Should has only one entry point. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone I missed? Anyone? Ram, I hope you asked this. Majid, you asked this. Yes. Sachin, you have one more question? Okay. Go ahead.
So, sir, like here we have like all the classes in the Bootstrap package will be scanned through reflection. So I think like reflection, like we can add the classes on runtime. So here also like we like if
it's all runtime only, right? It's all runtime only, right? Whenever I run, then only IOC container will be created. At runtime only all classes will push to IOC container. At runtime only context will be created. At runtime only I am getting the classes through reflection. Everything is at runtime.
So is it like when my application is running and I'm using the application at the runtime, like if I add any class and then
it will
add
not
any
come.
method?
It will not come. You need to stop and you need to start.
Okay, okay. Got it.
Okay. Yeah. Guys, Any other questions? Okay. So tomorrow, today is my last demo. As some of the participants are asked some of the 2 extra demos I have given. So if you feel that makes a value add for your, I mean, if my communication skill and the way I explain and the technical knowledge I have, if you feel that you're happy with the how the classes are going, then you can subscribe to the course. Okay, the same rhythm, the same patience level, and the same pattern I'm going to follow till end of the class. But one request, only one humble request. It's a humble and sincere request. If you really want to learn the course, then only join. Don't join for time pass. What do you mean by time pass? Is nothing but my context is in 1 week attending 2 classes or 3 classes and not practicing daily, occasionally coming, and when I ask why is that, sir, I am busy, I am real-time employee, I'm busy. If you have 1 hour 30 minutes daily time, the reason I'm telling is my success depends on you. If there are 50 participants are joining in my class, my target is at least 38 to 40 people, minimum 90 to 95% they should get job. When you will get job, if you listen, if you attend the classes regularly, if you ask the questions, and if you make sure your presence is there in everyday class, then only you will learn the subject, then only you will shine. If you shine, I will also shine. Win-win situation I am looking. If you win, I'll win. If you don't win, I'll not win. So I unnecessarily, if you are not attending classes, you are not doing, if you feel that you are busy, don't join first of all. If you feel you're busy, don't join. Continue with your works. It's my humble, sincere request. Okay. And to the extent, because the lot of topics I'm covering in Spring Boot, lot of topics I'm covering in Spring Boot. At one stage, you'll feel, sir, don't cover that much because you are going to overloaded with the knowledge. That is what a lot of people are complaining. A lot of people are suggesting me. I need to balance the time. If time is increasing, you will lose interest. Understand, right? If time is increasing, you will lose interest. And at the same time, I need to make sure the content and the time and the class and everything we need to manage. So all things should be parallelly managed. So totally, I have taken 14 batches till now. All 14 batches successfully, which we don't have any single point of issue till now. So it's my humble request. Only one common problem I have seen overall 14 batches. Almost 30% of the people are dropping out in the middle or at the end because of their personal reasons. I'm sincerely requesting. I want the 30 to be 0 going forward. If you feel that, yes, I want to learn this course, I have time, I'm not a busy person, or else I'm a working employee, but I can practice on Saturday and Sunday. I'll make sure that I'll practice. It's my responsibility. My means yours. And I'll ask the right questions in the right way so that I'm ready to help you. I'm having almost 14.8 years of experience. Definitely my experience will give you an idea. Till now, almost for the last 8 years, I'm taking interviews. So the interview knowledge which I have definitely will help you out in getting a good career for you. That is what my point here. So tomorrow onwards, link will change, and I have given admin details, and also I have given the Hangouts group link also. So please join the link, and if you, I provided Mr. Prasad sir, he is admin for this group. You can get the details through, let me give, I gave WhatsApp number, I guess. Okay, but let me give, Mr. Prasad sir, you there? Maybe can you, okay, he's not there maybe. Let me ping his number, guys. He is the admin for this batch. And all NASCAM full stack batch students are not part of this particular course. Understand? That is what common question I used to get it, but it is not there. So I'm going to give the admin's number, guys, everyone. Admin name, Mr. Prasad. Contact WhatsApp number 7373373 13421. This is what the number, WhatsApp number, and his email ID is prasad.nareshit@gmail.com. This is what email ID, and my email ID is, this is my email ID. If you have any valuable feedback or suggestions or anything, you can always reach out to me. And tomorrow onwards, if you like my things, you can join the course. Otherwise, you can skip the course. You don't need to. It's not mandatory. You need to join the course. Totally, I have explained 5 classes, 5 demo classes I have taken. It covers theory, it covers hands-on, it covers everything. And if you feel that if my communication and the way of explanation and the vocabulary if I have used and the kind of technical strengths, if you feel that if you're happy with that, join the course. Okay. Thanks everyone for today. I wish you all the best for everyone's on their career. If you have any real-time questions, even though you didn't join my course, you can drop it an email to me. I will always helpful for you. Just to mention that you are a part of Naresh IT. Okay. Yep. Thanks everyone. Thanks all. Have a great day. Thank you.